Hi guys, it's Suzanne HB. Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram, and I'm back after a long time not doing tutorials. This one is going to be for the first of a number of related designs, all carrying the name something to do with chaos. This one's called Order from Chaos, and as you can see here, it's got a chain in here, and I'll show you what forms the rest of it, but it is kind of like my chain-based designs, but the initial chain has something else on it, which you can see up the top here. And there are several designs. There's also, I'll show you, this one is the original Order from Chaos, done with metallics, rainbow loom. This one is the, yes, I cheat when I'm creating things, and sometimes I don't make a full bracelet, but this one is called Chaos to Control. And they all start with the same starting center. And then this was my trial piece of Calm Within Chaos, and this was the bracelet I made for myself to wear based on that design with the opaques. I wanted to see if opaques worked, and inside that there's limited edition bands, but it does work with all different bands. As you can see, I've got limited edition, metallics, opaques. Alrighty, so what we're going to get started with is this initial internal section here. This one has just the white is the border part, and the gold and the blue are the internal workings. So for those internal bands, I'm going to use silver, metallic silver for the gold bands here. I'm going to use metallic purple for the blue, and I'm going to use metallic gold for this border colour here, which is done right at the end. So you create all the centre first, and then you work on that centre part to create the different effect. So, and for those of you who have been following my tutorials for a little while, I have been getting my nails done, but I'm giving them a break for a while, so if they look a little scabby, that's why. Alright, so we start with the chain, but this is going to be a chain that has two inverted slip knots, one on either side. As some of you might know, well, if you've been watching my tutorials, you know I don't like to turn my hook around. I don't tend to work with a double-ended hook, but you certainly can work with a double-ended hook if you prefer, because you need to work both sides of the chain. So the way I do it is I get the colour that I'm going to have as my slip knotted colour going on the hook as the first part of the leaf stitch. I put the central chain colour over the top. I go over the top of that central chain colour, pull it up into a leaf stitch. Whoa! Don't let it go and ping like that, and then pull it through. Like so. Okay. Now, you don't actually close this up though. So you can put it on there, and you can put the other one on the other side. But generally speaking, you would pull it through and hang on to it. It's just a little trickier with your initial one, because you've got that cap band hanging on there. So without the cap band falling off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an inverted slip knot. So I'm going to pick up that silver in the middle there. You have to be careful, because particularly on this first one, the purple's got nothing it's hanging on to. It's just sort of resting on there. Flip this end over the hook like that, and then pick up this side. So that's your inverted slip knot. On the opposite side, we could now, if we wanted to, pick this off, turn it around, and do exactly the same process on the other side. So like this. Make sure you hang on to the loops on the bottom there, otherwise this loop will come flipping back over again. So we could pick it up, turn it around, but then we'd be working on this side, and it makes it a bit tricky. Okay, so instead of doing that, I like to work on the left hand side again. So I've got one on this side, we need one on this side. So you pull this one through the left hand side of that silver loop, and then with your hook turn it over, grab the left hand side of that purple band, and lift it past the silver and then push it through the silver, and that will get you an inverted slip knot on the opposite side, like so. So that's the first one completed. So we'll do that a few more times because this does form the basis of all of the ones in this series. So we're forming a leaf stitch, pulling that through, not attaching it yet, to pull it through far enough that you can see a bit of that silver, picking up silver, flipping this side over, so just rest the silver underneath the hook, pick this one up and over the top of the hook, push the hook up through so it can't slip past it again, and then pick up that side. For many of you this will be familiar in doing other slip knots on other designs, so you can of course skip this part and move on to the next, but if it's not something you're sure about, feel free to stay around, go over it a few times. So this next one needs to go on to the left hand side of the silver, so we're going to take it out, grab the left hand side, oops, no, we're not going to take it out, duh, flip over, grab the left hand side and push it through, and so on. You don't have to worry about these looking neat now because that'll all come out in the wash as we do the design. Alright, so leaf stitch, pull through, grab the silver one, show it from a different angle, that goes up and over, and you just pick up the other side of it. And the next one goes through the left hand loop of that silver, turn your hook over, grab that side, go back past that silver, see it's between those, and push through. Sorry, I do realise I get a comment that my voice is quiet, and that's because when I'm concentrating I forget that I'm supposed to be speaking more loudly. So there you go. So I'll do that one more time on both sides and hopefully you will have picked up the idea. So we've got a leaf stitch, pulling it through, try a different angle, we let go of that left hand side, pick up the silver, just hold it under the hook there, push this over and pick up the left hand side of the purple. Then we need another purple, which we will use to go through the left hand side, turning the hook over and then pushing it up through there. Now it is important that you don't twist the bands, so you don't want to have that band twisted, for example, as you pick it up and over. It will affect the way the next steps will work. So that just goes over and through. Alright, I'll complete a bit longer length of this and then I'll come back to show you how to do the border. If you need any help, just keep rewinding. Okay, so here's the length that I've done. Obviously it's not the length of a bracelet, and if you are doing it for your own wrist, you'll need to measure it a bit longer than your wrist because the side does get gathered in slightly, so probably go about that much further, maybe about 5 longer than your wrist, and you can always add on to the end of it as well. If you get to the top and you think, oh, gee, that's not going to be long enough, you can just tie off the side and make a few more chains and go from there, as with a lot of my border designs. Alright, so I'm just going to pop a band through that just to secure it, but you can secure it with anything you like. Alright, that looks pretty messy at this point. What you need to do is become a bit familiar with the parts of these inverted slip knots. you'll have the central part here, which kind of goes up vertically through the middle, and that's a loop that goes over that center chain for the next one. Then you have these two loops here that actually are joined through the center, and those are ones that you need to work out in some of my other designs, which one are you working with to go through. Okay, so you've got those two, and so if this is your front, I'd talk about that as the front side loop and the back side loop, and the same left front side loop, back side loop, and this one, the silver one, as the center chain. Alrighty. Now, in this particular design, we're going to be going through both of the side loops. So as they're sitting now, you might see that they kind of sit roughly, depending on how they've been done, they roughly sit in kind of a V shape. So these are sitting in a downward V shape. What we're going to do is, as we go through each of them, we're going to pick up this right-hand side one, sorry, the back one and the front one. So I tend to go from back to front. We're going to be using it like that to go through. So we'll start with a single loop of the cap band. So I'm going to split the cap band into two so that I've got something to start with. Because the cap band is actually facing up, a lot of mine face down like that, and we work through it. This is facing so it looks vertical, like so. So I'm going to split it, and I'm going to use this as my starting loop. So you grab one of these border bands and just pull that through. Okay. Then we're going to go through those side bands there, pick up another border band to pull it through, and then we're going to grab the left hand of that first loop and pull it through that right hand loop on the hook, hanging onto this over here on the left, under like that, and attach like so. And that's our first part. Then we're going to go up to the next one. Going to go through the back side loop, front side loop, like that. Pick up a border band, pull it through the lot, and then pick up the left hand side of those previous two on the hook. And you can slide that under, or you can push that right hand one over, like so, and pick up. That's the second one. Then we go to the next one up, and you just keep going up, making sure that as you pick them up, they're in that kind of V formation. So you're going through the sides of the V, like that. Border band, going through, and picking up the left hand side again, and going under the other loop, reconnecting, like so. Here we go. So you basically work that all the way up to the top, and then we'll come back and we'll do the other side. So we'll do it a few more times. Go to the side, grab that back and front in the V, like so. Border band going through all of them, picking up the left hand loop and bringing it under, or lifting the right one over, and reattaching, and then going up through the next one, going through the two sides of the V, like so, and trying to keep those two side by side to give it a nice clear two-band effect there, like so. And you just keep doing that all the way. Whoops, better pick up the next lot. Just keep doing that all the way up. Like so. So I'll complete to the top and I'll show you how to hold it together. So that's what that one side should be looking like. So once you get to the end of your bracelet, then you just, because we've started with the cap band sideways, it's easier to actually finish off because the loops are going sideways. You go through the center chain and the two, see there's got the silver and the two purple that we've already slip knotted through. So put your hook through those and take out the slip knot. Oops. Take out the slip knot. If you've not done the slip knot so tight that you can't get it open, there we go. Take out the slip knot and just redo that band going through those ones to hold. We're just going to go through all of those, including the two on the other side at the end, and just close it up. That's the finish. No difficult finish there. Okay, back with that slip knot. And now coming back up the other side, you can do it the way I normally do it, which is going sort of coming back on it from the opposite direction. So we turn it this way and I go up through this one and pull a loop through, and you have to find the first of the slip knots here and just make sure you're going through the same, from the same angle as you did on this one. So you've got to go through from the back to the front, like so. Pull the next loop, next band through, and grab that left hand again and pull that through and up again. So it's exactly the same steps. Don't worry about that, it'll fix itself up when we clip it. Exactly the same steps, it's just you have to make sure that that you've identified this is the front and this is the back. You see the way the front goes, it has the two loops together, and the back has the two loops looking more separate. This side purple loops here. So you're coming up from the back to the front. So you're picking up that back loop first, and don't make sure you don't pick up like that loop and then pick up this loop this way, because as you can clearly see, that's not forming a V. So if you go in that way and this way, you can see how it's actually got the V, wider that side, narrower that side. So that's one way of checking. Pull through all of them, pick up that left hand band, put it under and reattach. So it's exactly the same. All you got to do is make sure that you're going from the back, you're going through from the outside and picking those up. Whoops, I just don't have enough over here. Pulling it through and picking up that left hand side. So exactly the same as on the other side, you're just working in the opposite direction. Coming back this way, like so. It's starting to look pretty. So I'll go to the end and I'll show you how to finish off. I forgot to say, if you want to, on this particular design, you can turn it over and work up this way, just so long as you make sure you're picking up, because now we've got the back side facing us, that you're picking up the back and then the front loop with that V shape. If you're more comfortable working in that direction, that's the only difference, is just making sure the order you pick them up is correct if you prefer operating on that side. So picking up from the back, making sure you keep that V, and operating from that side, because the border is the same except for the way you pick the bands up, or the direction you pick the bands up. Okay, so once you're at the top and you've picked up the last two of those loops, whether you're doing it backwards or forwards, you now just need to pick up the rest of the loops. So that'll be silver, purple, purple, silver, gold, gold. So it's those inside ones and the border colours. So you just pick those back up, tracing through where you've already collected them up. Now you can, if you want to, if you're feeling particularly brave, undo your slip knot or whatever you've used to secure it, just very carefully. So you're just working with something that's a little bit looser and easier to work with. I need to do this so that I can show you exactly what I'm doing, otherwise I don't think it makes much sense. Okay, so I'm going to be going through these outside two colours here, the silver inside band, the purple of the slip knots, the silver inside band, and the two golds again. So you've got these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get rid of that purple one now. And you can tighten that middle one up by pulling that one around, like so. And I'm then just going to pull that in with a gold. I could do it with the silver internal band, that'd be another option, so that it'd match up with the silver, but it's up to you. So even though there's quite a few bands, it sits okay, the way that they all sort of form into the centre. Put a C-clip on that, and then around to here. And of course I haven't got a C-clip ready, but I'll just show you. So you'd C-clip that. I'm going to slip knot it for the moment. And when you come back round to here, all you need to do is attach the C-clip, find the front, so that's the back, that's the front, and you can tell here the front has the two bands here, the purple bands side by side going out to the side, and this one has the two bands a little bit separated, and they have the silver between them, like that. So you look at the front and you get these two here and just clip it on there. So you bring it round and clip the C-clip on there, or you could grab them from between here and here, between the gold border bands, and C-clip it like that, which is probably a little neater, just a little bit more fiddly. And there it is. That is the Order from Chaos hook only design with this interesting different inverted slip knot centre. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, or at least it's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing your renditions. Don't forget to tag me and hashtag on Instagram. I'm on As Crazy Just Might Work, and if you've liked this tutorial, give me a like and subscribe, and I will catch you at my next tutorial. Bye.